Just a half a lap. He's on the back straightaway. Going in turn 3. He can almost smell the checkered flag from here.
Off the fourth corner, Rusty Wallace wins the Valleydale 500 and his first Winston Cup race ever. He already has his hand outside of the side of the car, saluting and waving. Earnhardt crosses the stripe under the checkered, but the car is just barely moving. And Ricky Rudd and Darrell Waltrip, who were battling also for position. Ricky Rudd wins second position and Waltrip third.
And Rusty Wallace will try to hold off Jeff Bodine as they run that final lap.
Off turn number 4 with race traffic ahead. Bodine will not likely have a chance to make a move, and it is Rusty Wallace taking the checkered flag here at Martinsville. The second win of the Winston Cup season for the Alley-Guard Racing Team, the Blue Max folks. And it was done with all due respect to Rusty Wallace, who there will get the accolades from Jeff Bodine. It was done on pit road.
I tell you, Jimmy Maycar, Todd Parrott, Barry Dodson, the crew down there, of course, Harold Elliott, they have got to feel awfully good about putting their driver in victory lane. They were as much a part of that as was Rusty Wallace.
You know, I'm going to be very interested to hear from particularly Jerry Punch, who has seen so many of these Winston Cup races. Does he ever remember a winner stopping as he took the white flag going on to win the race?
It doesn't happen often. There is the Kodiak crew as they watch for their driver, Rusty Wallace, to move through the final corners of this race. Here he is off of corner number 7, and Rusty Wallace has won the Budweiser at the Glen. Ooh. What a tremendous race we had here today. It was worth waiting an extra day for.
It really was. Absolutely astounding, repeating again. If anyone out there can remember on a super speedway, look at Jeff Bodine shredding the left rear.
Yeah, it's completely gone.
Also, Phil Parsons' next-door neighbor on Lake Norman back North Carolina, so we're going to have a long week back in Denver, North Carolina.
Here's Rusty Wallace in for the final lap. Last time around for him as he streaks back toward the line. He's into turn 9, the final corner, and Rusty Wallace, the Missouri driver, will win here today. He's across taking the checkered flag is Wallace. A great victory for this Raymond Beetle team. And they're second on a road course in 1987. Finishing second is Benny Parsons, and third is Kyle Petty. Fourth across the line will be Richard Petty. Fifth is Bobby Allison. Sixth is Terry Labonte. You'll meet the winner in a moment. Here comes 17 down to the line.
He goes into that turn, he moves around Hillen with no problem at all, and he slows it down going into that turn, gets her right down on the inside, as we've seen him so many times today. Looks like he's got it made, Bob.
Rusty Wallace comes out of corner number 9 in the Kodiak Pontiac, slips just a little, but he's got the race won. He crosses the line, and Rusty Wallace wins. Terry Labonte is second, followed by Ricky Rudd, Dale Earnhardt, Phil Parsons, Richard Petty, and the number 6 car of Mark Martin finishes 7th.
I believe Dale Jarrett's going to come home in 8th place, and Sterling Marlin in the 9th position.
And unofficially Neil Bonnet in 10th.
Get moving up another car length. It has been a wonderful race. Only one small incident. That was when Dale Jarrett spun in turn number 3. We've only had 4 cautions. Had some mechanical failures. Here they come for 3 and 4. Driving for the finish. Down they come. Elliott trying to pull up. Rusty Wallace staying in front. Coming to the line. Rusty Wallace has defeated Bill Elliott by a margin of about 24/100ths of a second. Battle for third coming to the line. It will be Terry Labonte over Dale Earnhardt in 4th. And in 5th, it will be car number 5, Bodine, in front of his teammate from the Hendrick stable, Ken Schrader. What a dandy race. Rusty Wallace leads the point battle by 130 points over Dale Earnhardt.
Notice him cut down, not allowing Darrell a lane to get around. This time Darrell's going high over in the 3rd turn. Rusty goes high to block his path. Bill, take him to the finish.
He was very loose through turn 4, fishtailing the car. He comes to the stripe, and Darrell Waltrip makes a move. Darrell actually bumped the rear bumper on the Rusty Wallace car as they came to the checkered flag. Rusty Wallace has won the 29th annual Oakwood Homes 500, and he's also been named our Goodyear Driver of the Race here. He's picked up the $1,000 for the Winston Cup Racing Wives Association. He heads the victory lane at the present time.
Jeff really was the leader when the caution came out. White flag this time by. Final lap. Can Jeff Bodine catch Rusty Wallace? And he nudges him in turns 1 and 2. Wallace a little out of shape. Bodine back on the inside. They are door to door. Down for the white flag. Final time. Here's Wallace back on the inside. And he nudges Jeff Bodine in turns 3 and 4. The crowd on their feet. It will be sideways. Rusty Wallace will win it here at North Wilkesboro Speedway. I mean, they are on their feet, ladies and gentlemen, for an outstanding finish. What a finish. Rusty Wallace and Jeff Bodine. Oh, Jeff Bodine passes Rusty Wallace, and Rusty passes it back using the same tactics.
Now the drivers pull up door to door and talk a little bit back and forth and about what a nice day each of them had.
Sign language.
Yeah,
it almost looked like Phil Parsons beat Jeff for second.
The backstretch, staying behind the third place car, number 11 of Terry Labonte. Into third and fourth corners for the final time. Rusty keeps the car low on the racetrack. Off of corner number 4. Here comes the checkered flag, and Rusty Wallace has won here at Rockingham.
And what a day it was for him. I'll tell you, it's just unbelievable. Winning 3 races in a row, and each time have fought back from being at least 2 laps down.
Win the Cup regardless of what Rusty Wallace did, and it is going to come down to that situation. Rusty Wallace from Fenton, Missouri is about to win the Atlanta Journal 500. Here he comes off of corner number 4, and Rusty Wallace wins race number 6 of 1988, the final one of the year. It's a celebration in the Pontiac crew. They're celebrating the battle victory, but here is the war victory that's won by Bill Elliott, and listen to the partisan crowd here at Atlanta. We're just down the road from Dawsonville, Georgia, Bill's hometown, and he had a tremendous turnout of people here this afternoon to cheer him on to the Winston Cup, and they did so successfully. Come off of the second corner, the battle for second place rages on. Earnhardt is trying desperately to hold off Alan Kowicki. Points very valuable here. Kowicki, however, moves to the inside in turn number 4. Here comes Rusty Wallace. He wins the Goodrich 500, and second place goes to Alan Kowicki by a bumper.
And a close race also for 4th place, but Jeff Bodine just barely edged out Mark Martin.
Out of turn 2 into the back straightaway. 5 car length advantage belongs to Wallace. Here comes Kowicki charging at the end. He picked up 3 car lengths down the straightaway in the backside, but at the line, Rusty Wallace records his second victory of 1989. That is his 12th Winston Cup victory. The margin, 49 100ths of a second. 19 lead changes among 7 drivers. 12 cautions, 67 laps under caution.
Have enough to go the distance into turn number 3. Here they come for the checkered flag. It's going to be Rusty Wallace winning the Valleydale 500. Darrell Walter finishes in second position. Jeff Bodine is going to hold on to third. Oh, it's a tight battle between Jeff Bodine and Dick Trickle and the 28 car of Davey Allison.
Want to be close enough where you can get to them, where you can race them. If I'm close enough where I can race them, I think I can get by them.
Usually when it comes down to the end like that, usually it's awful tough to pass people.
Well, Jeff Bodine has crashed hard. You saw the tire shred on the car, and he has hard into the tire barrier and the retaining wall.
Not only, and we see Jeff, thank God he is moving around. Yes, Jeff. But not only did the tire disintegrate, it also blew the brakes. He had no brakes at all trying to get in that corner, it looked to me like.
He is unbuckling himself. He's taking off the steering wheel. He is trying to get out of the car, and that is so good to see as the white flag comes out. Bodine hard into that tire barrier and into the guardrail. One more lap to go. There you can see that Jeff is out of the car, and the corner workers are signaling that he is okay. We're on the last lap of the race, and Rusty Wallace is in the lead and appears to be headed for his 4th road course win in his career. So
They'll race back to the flag.
The race will officially end under yellow, as Mark Martin there is in 2nd position following Rusty, and then will come Dale Earnhardt in 3rd position. But here is Rusty Wallace. He finished 2nd at Sears Point on the road course earlier this year. He comes out of corner number 7. He takes the checkered flag, and he wins the Budweiser at the Glen. Rusty Wallace has won. Mark Martin finishes 2nd. Dale Earnhardt is 3rd. It's a big boost for Rusty Wallace, who came into the race 165 points behind Dale Earnhardt in the Winston Cup points battle. Earnhardt, of course, finishes 3rd, so Rusty isn't going to gain that many points, but everyone is very valuable in the battle for the Winston Cup.
4 each, but Rusty will go ahead 5-4.
Midway down the backstretch, into turn number 3. Rusty Wallace, originally from Fenton, Missouri, St. Louis area, brings the car off of corner number 4. Here is the checkered flag, and Rusty Wallace has won the champion Spark Plug 400. Harry Gant, who was in 2nd position, is slowing down. You can see him trying to get fuel to the car. Undoubtedly is out of fuel. Here comes Morgan Shepherd, and Morgan is going to take 2nd as Harry rolled the dice and lost 1 position because of it.
Yeah, but I think he picked up some positions as a result of staying out there. I don't think he would have finished 3rd if he had come in for gas, so it was a good move, even though he lost 2nd position there as he came to the start-finish line.
Pass, or it could be all. Down for the finish.
27
is running out of gas. Going into turn 3. Wallace is slowing down. Wallace is into 4. He's coming out of turn 4. The man in 2nd is Earnhardt. Earnhardt trying to close, coming to the line. Number 27 wins it.
Harry Gant is out of gas on the backstretch.
Harry Gant is out of gas on the backstretch. Earnhardt is coming across.
They're racing for position, Bodine and Gant.
To the line, Harry Gant is...
Oh, Gant got him.
Just about 3 feet over Bodine in this incredible finish. As Rusty Wallace, going down the back straightaway on the final lap, ran out of fuel, but was able to run to the finish line and take the checkers for his 6th win of 1989.
Back straightaway.
Particularly down low, because that's where the oil was, which is where Rusty was sort of run down.
Wallace in front. Here comes Elliott, charging. Wallace fading high. Bill Elliott down to the inside. Last lap, last turn to the side, the 600. Coming to the stripe. And for the first time in his career, Rusty Wallace has won. Rusty Wallace has won the 600. Unbeatable today. Rusty Wallace comes home champion in the Coca-Cola 600. Bill Elliott for 2nd. Mark Martin, with a valiant effort, had to settle for 3rd. We'll give you the rest in a moment, and you'll meet the champion, Rusty Wallace.
It would be a great race. They're evenly matched today.
2 more laps to go for Rusty Wallace. This completes the 72nd circuit. There's Mark Martin, who may emerge as the new points leader in Winston Cup competition. We'll have to calculate them, but Morgan Shepherd is behind the wall, and of course Dale Earnhardt spent many, many laps behind the wall repairing a transmission.
And there's trouble down in turn 11. Davey Allison and the Terry Labonte car are nose to nose.
I believe it could be, is that Labonte or, yeah, that is Labonte.
Yeah, Davey Allison spun, and Terry came into the turn, just couldn't get stopped and hit Davey. Now they both get going, or at least Davey's getting going. The car number 1, and Terry Labonte's still sitting there.
Labonte remains in the middle of the racetrack in turn number 11.
And you know he does not want to be there.
He is right in the middle of things. Here it is once again.
Davey Allison just loses control going in.
Oh, a full course caution. This may mean the race will end under caution. And there's a contact between Terry Labonte and Davey Allison. Rusty Wallace is headed toward the yellow flag because of Terry Labonte's stop car in corner number 11. We could see this race end under caution.
And boy, will we see some scrambling when they get down there to that car sitting there in the groove in turn 11. That's a tough enough track when it's clear. Of course, most of the spotters have told their drivers that's where the trouble is, so be careful when you get there.
Rusty picking his way through. Mark Martin.
Here he
comes. Right up on the back bumper of him.
Yellow flag is showing. Mark is trying to win the race to the line because that could be the end of the race right there. The white and the yellow flag comes out simultaneously. This race will end under caution, and Rusty Wallace will win it. This will be Rusty Wallace's 18th Winston Cup career win. And it will mean that he continues to dominate road racing in Winston Cup competition, having now won 5 races out of the last 7. Here comes the pace car.
Ricky Rudd says, I bet I can beat those guys to the line.
Rusty Wallace wins the Banquet Frozen Foods 300 under caution. Rusty Wallace from Fenton, Missouri adds another win to his resume on the road course. Mark Martin finishes second. Ricky Rudd third. Fourth would be Jeff Bodine in number 11. And the number 8 car of Bobby Hillen finishes in 5th position. Let's go to the pits very quickly.
Leading down the backstretch, Ernie Irvan will try to make a final move. He taps Rusty. Here they come off the corner. They're side by side. It looks like Rusty Wallace is going to win by about a half a car length. Oh, another exciting Bristol finish. And the battle for the spot back in 6th, 7th, and 8th goes to Darrell Waltrip over Dale Jarrett and Jimmy Spencer. Well, last year was the closest finish in NASCAR history here at this event when Davey Allison beat Mark Martin by 8 inches, and that one was a little bit more, but not very much.
Within the rules. But right now, again, Rusty has not received any assistance on this white flag lap. And here comes the field down through the pit road. They're following the pace truck, and this will be the end of the race. The checkered flag is being displayed now by Doyle Ford, a yellow and a checkered flag simultaneously. And Rusty Wallace has won in the Miller Genuine Draft sponsored car, the Miller Genuine Draft 500. It's been an afternoon of crashes, a lot of crashes in the first half of the race. No driver was injured, however. Then we got into a rain situation that delayed this event by more than 2 hours. With 24 laps to go and the track finally dry, the cars were put out on the racetrack.
About to be a big splash through the pool of champagne in Victory Lane for Rusty Wallace. 1989 Winston Cup champions under a white flag. Getting ready to wrap it up. Checkers are down, and Rusty Wallace has finally done it. Put one together in 1992. The Miller car comes home in first in their own race. How about that?
I tell you what, when Rusty wins one of these big races, he jumps on the roof. They're liable to bend her up.
Second, Mark Martin. Third is Darrell Waltrip.
Darrell Waltrip ahead, but down on the bottom, out of harm's way. Rusty Wallace comes off turn number 4. Earnhardt is closing it up, but will run out of time. Wallace scores his 3rd Rockingham win. Buddy Parrott gets the dunk. Last lap battle. Musgrave caught Dale Jarrett, couldn't quite pass it for 6th place.
What's a good win for Rusty? I tell you, they ran hard all day long.
Remains ahead of Kyle Petty. Here is Rusty Wallace in the 3rd turn, now the 4th turn, and the Food City 500 win is his. Rusty Wallace, Earnhardt 2nd, followed by Kyle Petty. Here is 4th position going to
Davey Allison and Spencer, I'm sorry, then Davey Allison, and then Darrell Walton.
Man. 6 cars on the lead lap.
Second straight third this season and become the new points leader in NASCAR Winston Cup competition. Here's the Miller Genuine Draft Pontiac off the 4th corner. Rusty raises the head and he wins the first Union 400. Here's the battle won by Terry Labonte over Ricky Rudd. And the Miller Genuine Draft Pontiac crew celebrates another win.
Shepard hit the wall hard up in turn 3, between turn 3 and 4. The Citgo Ford just shot into the wall, and boy, he hit it hard.
He sure did, and there's considerable damage to the right side. Here's the caution once again.
And he's sitting right in the middle of the track. They got to race back here. This race could finish under the caution. Of course, their spotters are telling him where he is.
Look at Allison trying to win it.
He couldn't quite make it. Half a car length.
That could have been the race right there if we do not go back to green.
We will not go back to green, believe me.
Yeah, there's only 3 laps to go, and there's enough debris scattered all the way around turn 4. And, of course, his car is still sitting there. Look how close Davey came to winning this thing.
He got up on the inside of him, about a half a car length, maybe 3/4 of a car length.
Yep. It's a mechanical situation. You know, the guys in the chassis shop and the guys, the whole guys, everybody that did the brakes, everything. We won this race today because of maintenance. The car handled great, but still, it lived all day. Earnhardt had a problem with the motor, and this is for David Evans. His father had a heart attack. This is you, David.
And they dedicate the win to David Evans, the engine builder, who is not here today, but watching at home with his dad, who had a heart attack. Bob?
Check it out on.
Here's second place. Davey's got one more shot here at turn 3 to take second place money.
He actually had a little bit better run on the white flag lap.
He did. Rusty's going to come off turn 4 to score his 26th career victory, tying him with Hall of Famer Fred Lorenzen. Mark Martin by a car length holds off Davey Allison 4 seconds. 4th will go to Dale Jarrett, who will move to within 171 points of Dale Earnhardt, knocking 80 points out of Earnhardt's lead. 10th Super Speedway win for Rusty Wallace.
Down the back straightaway, it's Rusty Wallace in front. Elliott making one final stab. It is not enough. Rusty Wallace has done it. He's just won his 27th Winston Cup victory. And he did it really the hard way tonight. Had to make up a lap and come back. And come back he did. Rusty Wallace has done it. The Miller car, the black and gold for Roger Penske's team for the 2nd straight year, has won their race. And a standing ovation from 70,000 for Missouri's Rusty Wallace.
Only 3 drivers have won at Dover from the pole. David Pearson in 73, Cale Yarborough in 76, Bill Elliott in 1990. Make that 4. Rusty Wallace for 4th place. Behind Schrader and Walter, give it to Dale Jarrett ahead of Harry Gant, Jimmy Spencer, and the Labonte brothers. Wallace picks up that Skins game bonus, $22,800 for winning from the pole. Goes up, of course, $7,600 a race.
And his 29th career NASCAR Winston Cup victory in 296 starts. Here comes the Miller Genuine Draft Pontiac off of corner number 4. Rusty Wallace has won the Tyson Holly Farms 400. Dale Earnhardt finishes in 2nd position. And we're watching for Ernie Irvin to come by in 3rd.
He does. Oh, and the water bucket goes on somebody.
And Since the June race at Pocono, he has finished on the lead lap every single race.
Boys, I can't wait to get out there to Arizona. I'm going to tell you, this is going to be a shootout right to the last.
That's 1 week from today. For the 9th time this season, Rusty Wallace and the Miller Genuine Draft Pontiac take the checkered flag. 30th career victory for Wallace. Wallace has finished ahead of Dale Earnhardt in 16 of the 28 races, including 8 of the last 9. Wallace once trailed by 345 points after the Pepsi 400 at Daytona. And now, Rusty will leave Rockingham trailing Earnhardt by 72 points.
He's out of gas.
He's out of gas now.
He's out of fuel.
Ricky
Rudd to pass him before he gets back.
He came within a half lap of finishing the race. There is Darrell Waltrip. Ricky Rudd goes by him. He takes second position. Rusty Wallace comes off the corner, takes the checkered flag, and wins the Hooters 500. And the celebration in the Miller Genuine Draft Pit. Rusty Wallace wins his 10th Winston Cup event of 1993 and the 31st of his career, but there is also celebration in the GM Goodwrench Richard Childress Dale Earnhardt pit as Earnhardt has won the 1993 NASCAR Winston Cup Championship.
Battle will be for second place to the flag. It'll be Wallace picking up his first win of the season as he comes off turn number 4. Mark Martin right behind him in 4th place, but 4-second spot. Here they come off the corner. Mast is high, Marlin is low. Mast drops down to the bottom, and for position, Ernie Irvan holds off Brett Bodine, and a crash in turn 4.
Chuck Bound.
Put Chuck Bound in the fence on the final lap.
This afternoon, if he can negotiate turns 3 and 4 and take the checkered flag. Here he comes off the 4th corner, and Rusty Wallace wins the Haynes 500 by just car lengths over Ernie Irvan. Mark Martin finishes unofficially 3rd, then Darrell Waltrip, Morgan Shepherd, Todd Bodine, and Chuck Bound, the 7th cars on the lead lap.
This before, bring him home.
Hey, this is great, man. This is going to be an all-Wallace weekend. Mike won yesterday, and here comes Rusty off of turn 4. He's going to win it. He's going to win the Bud 500. It's a big victory for the Wallace this week. It was a all-Wallace salute.
And Mark Martin just holds off Jeff Gordon by 2 feet. Takes that 5th place car and turns it into a 4th placer by races in.
Well, there he is.
It is a Wallace exacta on Bud 500 weekend. Mike Wallace wins Saturday. Rusty Wallace wins Sunday. Kenny Schrader is up to 4th behind Jeff Gordon. Turn 3. Final corner.
These lap cars are going to play a factor. Let's see what happens.
Big chunk of cars in front of the leader. Earnhardt looks low. Jeff Gordon looks lower, but it's all Rusty Wallace. 2 in a row, big crash in turn 3. Little surprise that on this final lap. And I believe it's Wally Dallenbach. Oh.
I'll tell you, the key to Rusty's victory there was Jeff Gordon following Rusty. That Chevrolet helped that Ford win the race because Jeff Gordon put his nose up in the rear of that Ford and they drafted right on by Dale Earnhardt.
Mark Martin making another stab.
Couldn't do it. Earnhardt just flat drove in there as hard as he has all day long, kept the position.
But give Martin the Medal of Honor for courage in this one. Checkers ready to fly. And the 36th career win for Rusty Wallace is scored on Father's Day 1994, his 5th of the season. And Earnhardt pulls to within 72 points of the Winston Cup leader, Ernie Irvan. What a race.
The second corner, and Rusty Wallace goes to the inside of Ken Schrader.
That's what he wanted.
is going to win it. Here's the checkered flag. Wallace wins. His 6th victory of 94. Let's see how this battle comes out. Marlin, Michael Waltrip, Todd Bodine, they finish in that order, 6th, 7th, and 8th. There's the Miller Genuine Draft crew as they celebrate Rusty's 5th win at Bristol.
That's getting a little close for comfort there. Nothing you can do about it when you have a damaged race car.
The most telling number is the one on the scoreboard. And as they come around, it's 4-9. Mark in the wall.
Oh, man.
Hard with the right front. Sliding down the racetrack, and everybody gets by. And a great drive.
Boy, that's
ends up clambered in the concrete. And here's the new leader as they come to the caution with 5 laps to go.
And this could be the end of the race right here.
Steve Meals came running over to Mark, who, as you can see, is okay. He led 158 laps and nearly posted his 2nd win of the year, coming just 5 laps short.
That's why.
Left rear
That's
tire.
another reason.
But as long as he's going forward, they can't pass him. Can you believe it?
He can coast there.
Checkered flag. 38th career win for Rusty Wallace, and the 7th this season. Hard to believe. We'll be back to talk to the winner.
Final lap at Martinsville Speedway. Rusty Wallace coming to turns 3 and 4, and Wallace will pick up his 4th victory at Martinsville, his 8th in 1994. He takes the checkered flag and waves to the crowd. His 3rd win on the short tracks here this season. And that, of course, will tie up the manufacturer's title for Ford for the 2nd time in 3 years.
Wallace, meanwhile, is in turn number 3. He's off the corner. And Rusty Wallace wins. Musgrave, Gordon, Waltrip, and Mark Martin are the top 5. Rusty Wallace wins his 3rd straight here at Martinsville, his 4th win in the last 5 events at this half-mile facility. Wow. Wallace, the only driver to post 4 top 5 finishes in the 4 spring short track races.
Checkers about to fly for the 4th time and 41st Winston Cup victory coming out for Rusty Wallace, but the story is right here, and there he is waving as he crosses the line. And the battle for 2nd at the stripe. How about Terry Labonte? Gordon now has a 279-point lead over Earnhardt. Wallace 7th in the points as they came in tonight. 41st career win. Oh, boy, that looked like. Let's get downstairs to Rick Benjamin quickly here.
Car spins. Ricky Craven. Here comes Rusty.
No caution.
And Ricky gets the car going again.
Does a nice 360, keeps going. We're on the final lap. Rusty Wallace is just behind Ricky Craven. Here comes Rusty off of corner number 4. And Rusty Wallace wins his 1st event of 1996, his 43rd career win, and his 19th short track event. And here's Bill Weber with Randy Pemberton.
They charge towards me. Turn 11 one more time. It's going to have to happen here, Benny, if it's going to happen. Does Mark have anything for Rusty? He tries. He's hard on the inside. Now he comes off, tries to get to the inside. He can't make it. Rusty Wallace accelerates towards you, and I think the victory, Bob.
Let's see if he can hold him off. It looks like he's going to. He pulls ahead. Rusty Wallace wins the St. Mark's Supermarkets 300, his 2nd win of 1996, and his 2nd here at Sears Point, his 43rd career win and 6th on a road course. He also 1996. Rusty led 36 of the 74 laps.
Down the backstretch, final time. Still steady. Not a sign of a burp on that number 2.
This is the corner that matters. He comes off under power. He can knock it in neutral and almost win the race coasting.
He's going to do it. And moving up is Labonte, but having this field covered. The 44th career win for Rusty Wallace happens today in the 28th annual Michigan 400. Talk about strategy. That pit crew right there had as much to do with this one as the man at the keyboard. A great victory for Robin Pemberton, a great victory for Rusty Wallace, his 3rd in the Michigan 400. At 3 Thunderbirds, thundering toward the finish line into turn 3 for the final time. Coming into the main straightaway and down the stretch. Here comes Jarrett to the inside on Rudd as they come to the stripe. For the 45th time, Rusty Wallace has won. Ricky Rudd is going to get 2nd spot by about 3 feet.
Martin in 3rd. Rusty Wallace brings it off the 4th corner and wins the Goodies Headache Counter 500. Rusty Wallace, his 6th victory here at Bristol, 46th career NASCAR Winston Cup win, and ties it for 11th on the all-time list with Buck Baker. Spacer finishes about a car length ahead of Ward Burton.
Question is, who's going to finish 2nd? Now Jeff Bodine has pulled ahead of Dale Jarrett for 2nd position. Off of corner number 4, and Rusty Wallace wins the Pontiac Excitement 400.
Jeff Bodine will be 2nd. Dale Jarrett will be.
And a crash up in corner number 3 as Chad Little hits the wall, but the car keeps going, and he's going to be able to cross the line. Well, it's the first win for Rusty since Bristol last year. Here's Bill Weber.
Welcome back, everybody, to Phoenix International Raceway, where although the rain has slackened, it has not stopped. And the Duraloop Kmart 500 has been called an official race, and Rusty Wallace is today's winner. Rusty started 6th and dominated throughout the course of the day. Victory Lane is being held under cover in the garage area. So let's go to the Money Store Winner's Circle interview. The Money Store, where America goes for money. Here's Steve Burns.
Martin has that time. He tried to get nose under there, but couldn't quite do it.
Got it sideways, but he's not going to be able to do it as Rusty Wallace wins the Food City 500 at Bristol Motor Speedway by 22 hundredths of a second over Mark Martin. Dale Jarrett finishes 3rd. Then John Andretti, Jeff Burton, and Jeff Gordon finishes in 6th position.
For the checkered flag, becoming the 10th driver to win 50 NASCAR Winston Cup races or more, and its first victory since a year ago here at Bristol. Rusty Wallace wins the Food City 500, and the field comes down to take the checkered flag. Bill?
Over the back of him into the 2nd corner. Here comes Mayfield's got a problem. Mayfield's got a flat tire. Here goes Wallace by. Now the race for the win between Wallace and Burton. Mayfield slows on the final lap.
Rusty Wallace gets a good clean entry into turn 3.
Rusty Wallace needing to get off the corner and beat Jeff Burton back to the finish line. Here they come, the final sprint down to the checkered flag. Burton tries to draft up inside. Wallace wins it. Rusty Wallace wins the Pennsylvania 500 when Jeremy Mayfield suffers a flat tire halfway through the final lap in the lead.
Dale Jarrett ended up 4th. Mayfield having that problem there.
Look at the right front corner of Mayfield's car. The tire went flat on the last lap
leading. That's why they call it racing and not winning. Looked like he had it in the bag. All of a sudden the car veered off on the tunnel turn over there.
Of Ricky Rudd and the 18 of Bobby Labonte. They're running second and third.
Martin had some damage to his left rear. That's certainly hurting his efforts as Rusty Wallace comes down to the checkered flag. It's Rusty Wallace with the victory.
As they cross the line, you see where they're going to finish. Benson in fifth. Here they come down to the line in this battle. Ward got it from Jeff. Martin finishes in 11th position.
Final lap for Rusty Wallace, 44 years of age. Comes up on the rear, the lap car of Jeff Gordon, and the checkered flag will wave for Rusty Wallace. He takes his 4th win of the season, his 53rd career victory, and his 9th win at Bristol Motor Speedway. There's Rusty waving to the crowd. Let's check in his pits with his crew chief, Robin Pemberton.
Car by 3.
That's it.
Darrell, all I think Rusty needs to do is run that same line through 3 and 4 right around the bottom. I don't think Gordon can get him.
Only way he can get him is if Rusty slips, and he's not going to slip.
Looking for his first win in 2001. Rusty Wallace
Clear by 3.
Rusty Wallace wins in California. '27 cars finishing on.
Good job, everybody. Great team effort. Way to kick ass there, RW.
Backstretch for the final time off into turn 3. Gordon gives Newman the boot in turn 2. They're going to be side by side. Here they come to the flag. Rusty Wallace wins the Advance Auto Parts 500 for his 55th career victory. Here's the battle for 5th. Gordon under Newman, but Ryan got the rocket launch off turn 4 and holds him off.
Well, yay, Rusty, and even more, yay, Rusty, but yay, Larry Carter. Come over there as the crew chief, and boy, has he made a difference.
And this is his first win as a Nextel Cup crew chief, Larry Carter.